Stop. You can do it. You can do it. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Satisfactory, where we are going to check out a couple of things that I have been really busy doing in the past few episodes. One of which is, as you notice, the rail lines no longer, or at least most of the rail lines, no longer have foundations sitting underneath of them. And we're going to go visit where he's going just shortly, which is right down here. So I've been very busy doing a few things, mainly just kind of spending time just decorating and making things really pretty. And one of the things that I've been doing, and I needed to stop over here somewhere because I screwed up one of these, it's up there, is that I have been building little bitty bridges, or at least little bitty supports for our rail lines. Now, this is good practice. In Satisfactory, for those of you that like to build ridiculously large buildings, structures, things, and stuff, is that there is a limit to how much stuff you technically should be building before the game starts to see problems. And it's not something that I think we're going to end up hitting. I don't think we're going to end up hitting it. Maybe we may or may not. It depends on how crazy I feel like building in this game. But it is a kind of a good idea to remove unnecessary structures, i.e. foundations, or, well, just random junk, like even power poles for that matter. Once you get rail lines spanning your entire network, it's a good idea to go ahead and remove all of the power poles. Mainly because of the fact that power poles are pretty, they're all over the place anyway, but when you have to run from one point to another to try to take care of things, it's a pretty good idea to try to keep things cleaned up. And the reason why that is because the game, I don't know exactly what the actual issue is, but the problem is there's an object limit, and when you hit or get close to the object limit, for one, your save files get gigantic, and two, it causes the game to have to spend a really long time to try to load the world. So what I did is I went ahead and I removed all of the stuff. So I built all of the foundations, all the stuff in, and all those wonderful cool things, and then I removed all the foundations once I got a decent little bitty kind of a support thingy going. And basically all it is for everything that's not inside the base, it's concrete pillars, the small concrete pillars with a pillar base, and then the medium, or I think they're medium structure thingy, whatever. Let me see, where are they? They are architecture, I think it's those big frame pillars, I think that's what those are. And it's just something to just make it look realistic. You don't have to. You can just leave them alone. But our rail lines throughout this entire map are all going to be mostly elevated. I am going to try to keep them reasonably lifelike. I mean, running them by my last world, when update 5 dropped and I got all the way to the point where we are right now, I had a rail line running, like, I don't know how many foundations up in the air, but it was way up in the air because I started way over in the top of the northern forest over there. So everything had to be at the height of that or higher, which the northern forest area right around in, I have to look at it sideways so I can kind of remember it, right here, right around in that area is really tall. I mean, this whole plateau up here is very tall. It's not as tall as that plateau, but it's pretty stinking tall. So we are sitting in our brand new train station that is going to be feeding our compacted coal system. And this is where, for those of you that don't know, there are several sulfur nodes sitting right here. So we have 2 sulfur nodes. There's a normal and an impure, and then there's a normal up there, that little platform, or that don't break your legs, right there, scroll in, right there above the top of this thing, right where we're standing, those foundations pretty much point right at where it is. It's not much further past that. So what we did is I went up there and I set a miner on that, ran power all the way up, and then ran the conveyor belts all the way back down to this point, to where that they come down over to here, and then come into the area where we are. For those of you that don't know what that is the picture taking thing. That's take a picture. If you press P and then use your scroll wheel, you can scroll in and out and actually see what's going on. So this train right here is taking all, or at least most of, what we're currently producing, and I've got him set up. Nothing is running over there. I mean, basically what we're going to do today is we're going to go over there. We're going to check a few things out. We're going to play with it and see what happens. Now, the reason why I'm down here is that this sulfur right here, for those of you that may or may not be wanting to do the same thing that I'm doing, right over there, like it hit the map. Right here is a pure coal node, and there's all the makings of doing steel right here in this area. So if you wanted to make a munitions factory, or if you wanted to do somewhat of the same thing that we're doing, or if you wanted to kind of play around with it, this is an excellent spot. We're in that kind of a buildy area. What I did in here, just so you guys can kind of see this, is a very simple little logical kind of thing. This is an impure node. That's a normal node. That's a normal node. So what I did is we're taking two of the cargo loading sections up here, the current whatever regular old freight platforms. Two of them should be sufficient to at least support what we're going to do here, probably until we get to Mark III miners, which very soon, honestly, I think very soon. The first major project that we're going to start after we get turbo fuel up and I start building those fuel generators. We're kind of stuck in a hole right now. We're trying to progress, but we can't because we need more power. Believe me, aluminum's going to take a lot of power because we need to be able to make a lot of stuff. We need a lot of refineries. We need a lot of foundries. We need a lot of things. It's going to be one of those. We just built a big process. We built a whole lot of big gigantic power up here. That where we did the fuel processing up here to make 1600 fuel, it's gonna overshadow that quite a bit. It's gonna get really big, at least on the amount of aluminum that I plan on making. The reason why I'm hauling all of this stuff, and we've got it all split up and sorted, so we've got some splitters into mergers so that we're shoving 720. I think 720-ish, 750, 700 something into these cargo loading platforms is so that we can take it back over to our compact coal area. Reason why we're taking it back over to our compact coal area is because we're going to then gather up what's left of some of the other sulfur in the area once we start building aluminum, because we're going to build aluminum over there. We're going to build batteries over there. We're going to build all those kinds of things. So we can't really look at it unless we were over there in main base, but batteries require sulfur or sulfuric acid and all those kinds of things. So we need aluminum and sulfur. So I want to take all of the necessary materials that we're going to need for that process and shove them over there, and then when we get to that point, we can kind of mess around with it. Batteries are an interesting thing. Batteries, you can use them to power your vehicles. And when we get into drones, they're necessary to power the drones. So what we're going to do is we're going to, well, probably not catch it. Can I get up here? Nope. Missed it. And I'm not going to have enough fuel. Got it. Okay. I'm going to wait for him to come back, and then we'll take a train ride. Actually, we can just, we'll take a train ride back over to where we're going to go so we can light up the compacted coal factory today and then see where we go from there. So I will see you guys once I get over to the compacted coal factory. Alrighty, welcome back to the compacted coal section area. And some of the things that we're going to start doing is styling designs based off of how things work. Now, I don't think we've got this completely sorted, but I think I've got a way that I kind of like it. I think we're at that point right now where I'm fighting the how things work, and I need to kind of work at this a little bit of a different direction because of the fact that the train platforms sit on a platform or a foundation first, and these pillars or whatnot are a little goofy. I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time kind of sorting them out. I think if anything, what I can probably do is lay it flat and run it under it over to that pillar, and that would look pretty cool. But let's check it out. I've done a little bit of work. We've got a few catwalks running around. We've got some stuff that we can get in here. I want my train stations to kind of hang over stuff. I want them to stand up off the ground. I want them to be kind of up in the air. It might look a little weird, but I still need to finish this end of the world. I ran out of patience and time, more or less. I didn't get that far as we needed to come. But what we have down here is that we're going to start talking about the recommended ideas for things. So technically this train or these cargo loaders are as good as anything you can possibly think of as far as trying to keep them running at a belt speed that you can input them at. So theoretically we're doing some number that is escaping me at this point, but it's 720 or something like that. 750, I believe. So what we did is we split the 750 in half and we put it between two freight loading locations so that the train is going to be splitting it between two freight cars. So we're bringing in 325 to either side of this. We don't need 325. We need 100 and something. I don't even think it's that much. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the excess to run some other stuff over on these other sides, in which case this train, what may end up doing with it is it may have a secondary stop maybe along the side over here or may on the other side. My intention is right here on the edge of the giant forest or whatever they call those trees. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to get used to, and I know I've pointed at it a couple of times. There's going to be a lot of things we're going to use back here. I'm going to build my aluminum processing plant, the one that we're going to use to do all of the stuff up in the right-hand corner, or anything else for that matter, is going to be built behind here. It's going to be built kind of probably up here. This lake right here has about 3 or 4, I think it's 3 pure copper nodes right here, plus water. Aluminum that we're going to be grabbing is going to be like right out here, and some of the other things we may need maybe over here. We're going to start moving our way down towards the Blue Crater region and into the grassy field area. I'm going to try to stay the heck out of the swamp if we can, but we may need to be in the swamp. This area out here, the sandy desert area, I think the only thing we're probably going to do out there maybe is we may end up just go out there and gather everything up if we need to and then bring it back. We are going to spend an episode out there exploring it, getting all of the hard drives, because before we start playing with aluminum, well, we're going to go need a bunch more hard drives. And hopefully by the end of the episode today, I'm going to keep my eyeballs on it and make sure we're squared. I want to go unlock aluminum so that I can go search for the hard drives so that we can go straight into the best recipes for aluminum. I don't want to play with any of the bog standard vanilla recipes. So anyhow, what I have done is we talked about using area actions to kind of build repeating things over and over and over again. And as you guys can see, it's here where we left it. All I did was belt it all in. I belted in the excess sulfur from the place that we're bringing in from the trains, and on the both of the external sides, we can go grab over here and go kind of run up these stairs instead of flying around like an idiot. I should be able to get all the way up, right? Look at me being really good. On this side over there, again, right about there is a miner, and it's full of power shards, and it's as good as it can get, and it's bringing us, I think, 300 sulfur for this mess. Right over here to there. On the other side, we're going to look at it here in just a little bit, because what we're going to do is we're going to go build a couple of item sinks right over there so that we can turn this whole thing on and let it run. I want to make sure it works all the way over to where we're going to be building our compact, or I should say, our turbo fuel. So this whole side, I went ahead and moved all of those guys over there. We need to overclock one of those things by like 25%, I think. I forget. It's like, it's a minuscule amount. So I left this whole side empty in case we decide we need to do a little bit more later on. It's just for the symmetrical, the Z fighting sucks, just to make it symmetrical, just to make it easy. I put that over there because of the fact that the miner, the coal miner that is sitting right there, I can't put my finger, there he is, right there. He is going to feed those. The coal that is going to feed this level, this level, this level, that level, that level, that level is going to come from both of those two miners, and we're going to be a little less than what they normally will work. We've actually got them, I don't have them overclocked fully. They're pretty close. So I did go ahead and turn the miners on, and I did go ahead and backfill all of the belts. So what we're going to do is we're going to go check out our cool little tower over here, and we're going to go put some item sinks over there and turn everything on and test it. So what I did is I had a thought of running the belts through these, and we did that down in there. It's a kind of a thing where if you play with these frame pillars and you do something kind of like this and this, if you say, well, this is the thing that I want to do, if I grab a foundation, and this is just a kind of a neat little thing that I've learned from a few people, plus it's just messing around. If you stick a foundation level, like, come on, it's easier to put the foundations down first, but this is technically going to be where this sits on the bottom of that thing right there, right? So if I grab a logistics conveyor belt, or if I grab a conveyor pole and I just get rid of this and I kind of leave this where this needs to be so you can kind of see it. It's kind of one of those times where I said, you know, you need to build things first and build things later, or play around with stuff. If I do this to there, right? And then I grab something like this and I stack it there, and then I find the angle where that looks the best, which would be either there or there, and then either zoop it or spread it. Well, now you have a thing that makes your conveyor belts look marginally better. I didn't do that over there because we had to deal with I think there's like 5 belts over there that we have to play with. So for those of you that are sticklers for things that, well, you know, you want things to look really good, or you want things to look really cool, or maybe more actionable or more lifelike, that's something you can do. Alternately, again, this is something that would be out in the real world, is structured bridges that would have, it actually looks a lot better on the other side. Structured bridges that would have conveyor belts attached to the sides of them to haul things where they need to go. So there's no foundations, there's no anything in any of this. The power is attached to the top of the pylons, at the top of the little pillar thingies right there, and they come to a corner right here, and then I need to figure out a better way to do this. It's going to be something I'll have to play with as we go, but we get to a corner where we needed to make a corner, so we made a corner and we went this way, and we keep going. Get up here and get some rest. There we go. And it comes over this gap, and it ends right here. Now, I'm pretty sure I stated a while back that we were going to build we were going to start building, and I might have said this otherwise, but anyway, we were going to start building our fuel generators right around in this area. We're not going to do that. We still have 72 refineries that we have to build, like that system kind of over there, so that we can mix compacted coal and fuel together to make turbo fuel. Well, the fuel is right there. The compacted coal is right there. What better place than to build 72 refineries than in right here? This area right here should be big enough for us to be able to figure out a way to build them. Now, that's a lot of refineries. It's a lot of things. We may have to go that direction. We have to go up. We have to go down. We have to go sideways. I don't know. We're going to build a bunch of refineries right where these trees are. Now, there's a really large area, and I've already used our cool little mod to kind of lay it out. Without getting into that gas and without going over this edge, I can fit about 150 refineries just laying on the ground out here. So we've got plenty of space. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to temporarily, we need to drain 4 belts over there. We need to drain 4 of those belts because those 4 belts are going to be making compacted coal for us. So let's, don't hit that button. Wrong button. Button over here. Let's knock down about 3 or 4 of our item sinks, get these belts plugged into those item sinks, and then go back over there and turn things on. Okay, I think that might be about the worst thing I've done in a really long time when it comes to trying to make things work. Let's see, do we have power to everything? Kind of mix of everything everywhere. Can we go ahead and connect you to you, and you guys have power? Okay, nice, wonderful. So I built these over here mainly so that we can kind of see how this is going to work, because we're going to need to get up here. We're going to need to be able to drag all those parts over here anyway. So we now have at least the amount of item sinks or awesome sinks that we need in order to be able to suck up all of the compacted coal we're going to be able to play with. So that should allow us to at least be able to troubleshoot this and hopefully it should all work. Now, if I get on you, you should be a 480 belt running all the way back over here, and we can bounce our way back over through a few things. So, boop. Then we can come down here. I got a little bit of things I need to clean up because I had to make a couple of things. So, let's stop. Get rid of you. We don't need you. We don't need you, we don't need you, we don't need you, we don't need you, and we don't need anything right there. So, what we have to do is we have to finish wiring this. Now, I've got like I said, I've got all of the mechanicals and everything hooked up, all of the items and everything that should come in here hooked up. All I got to do is hook some power to a few places. So, we want to kind of play with that idea. So, we know that the power is going to come off, up the stairs. Make the stairs, you're fine. Let's see. Start here, and let's put a power pole in the center of the build, right there. Okay, so we got power running in both directions. I don't know what that one's for. It was kind of wherever it needs to go, so we're going to go ahead and click this button, and all I should have to do is connect that to there, and that to there, and everything should turn on. Now, there's a secondary line underneath here. I want to kind of play with a few things and see what goes. But, oh yeah, I had to do a little bit of fooling with this side. Let's see. Where are you not connected? I wanted to make sure that the things are not messed up. So that's that side. And then we need to do this to, where is it? Right there. That should turn some lights on and things start processing. And away we go. Do we have anything up here we need to do? Yes, same deal here. I had to kind of play around with this a little bit to make sure that everything would load correctly. But technically now we should have stuff coming from over there. So this post goes to here. The power comes across the top, goes across that, over there. And we could explore that, but I really don't feel like going back over there because I'm pretty sure that things, well, I mean, we've laid power and machines down. We shouldn't have anything have respawn back over there, hopefully. Now, that side, I'm going to kind of leave it alone for right now. I think we're going to kind of make sure that we have all of our stuff flowing. So the coal is flowing to here, sulfur's coming down, and we should be seeing a kind of a reasonable pace. It's going to be about 300 a belt on both on all three of those, so it should be around 300 a belt as it goes. Now sometimes you're going to see blips, sometimes you're going to do things like that. What I want to do is I want to run it wide open for a little while, and this is a good idea when you're planning with factories like this, especially mission critical, power critical. We'll just say it like this. This is power critical. This stuff all has to stay running constantly, and it has to produce everything constantly. Everything has to be set up because this, due to the update 5 changes and how power works, this will never back stuff. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. I mean, it'll back stuff. It'll eventually fill all the machines up and it'll work and everything will go to work. But the whole point is due to the way the power changes were made in update 5 versus update 4 and the ones before that, your power generators make power all the time, no matter whether or not you're using it or not. So you need to make sure that the machines feeding your power generators are running at capacity constantly, meaning that the entire system from front to back, mining materials into building things. The same thing with the coal generators, same thing later on with nuclear for that matter. You have to build around that plan that nothing is ever going to stop moving. It's always just going to continuously make the same amount of power. So what I need to kind of do here is we're going to kind of let it kind of play around a little bit. Like we should be seeing a reasonably even amount of coal coming out of that. That looks good too. Coal coming out of that. All of these are split between the floors. This guy's going to actually start delivering things to part of the things. So the 2 sulfur nodes that we're bringing sulfur back from are good for taking care of the top 2 floors here and here, and then the train is bringing in the sulfur for the floors down here. So theoretically, the way this system works technically is it's working from the top down kind of a deal. Everything, it works from up here down and then across that direction and then over. So We're combining this side with these conveyors with that side. And what we should see, and I think we have a problem already, is I should not see any of that backed up. Why are we backed up? We have item sinks. They should not be stopped. Why are we broken? Quick, 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 take a look. That stopped. This is here. Those are going up. I see stuff on them. Cool. Let's go up here. Stuff still on them. All right. Why did we not work? Did they not decide to turn the item sinks on? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we should be fine. Yeah, everything looks like it's stacked up correctly. Why are we not working? We should be flowing compacted coal to some item sinks, because I haven't tested to see whether these bridges work or not. That one 270 belt over there is not on yet. I guess we didn't hook the power up. What is going on? Did I miss? Did I? How? Wait a minute. We have a break in the line because we have no sulfur on that belt. Where is our power? Come on, let's go check. I knew there was going to be something in this. It wasn't going to work. Where did I break it? That's there. That's there. Wire down, wire to there. Wire. Why do we not have wire? I don't. You got jetpack on. Don't break your legs. Oh. Go to work. There we go. So we're going to now add some sink. All of that compacted coal for as long as it takes for me to sort out the rest of the system. So the next step is we need to actually light this one up, because this is the overflow kind of system, and if I recall correctly, I'm gonna have to go back and look at my numbers. One of these is going to need to be set for like 120% here, but we're gonna leave it alone for right now. So I don't think you have anything other than this. Oh, and well, we got two things. There you go. Why does that look like a Mark III? It's a Mark III belt. Okay, cool. Quit dinging me, Discord. Quit. All right, so we should be good here. This is a Mark III. That's a Mark III. It's got to split and feed, do a bunch of this stuff back and forth and around and through. Once this gets sorted, we should be making at max capacity what we're going to need to be able to at least, well, I'm going to have to adjust one of these. I'm going to have to adjust one of these assemblers so that we're sorted. I'm going to let this run a while. I want to watch it do what it needs to do. I want to run it wide open, and then I'm going to start turning up some of these machines, because technically we can really overproduce right now, because both of those two miners back there are going to be running at not quite where we could possibly be. So I'm going to show you real quick. We're a little short. We are not quite where we could be right here. We could be 480. We're running 450, which means we have a little bit of excess between this one and this one, that if we feel like it, we have enough sulfur. I can, turn up a couple of these, just give them, one of this and go like here, and that could be the excess that we need. We're not going to do that right now. What we have is we have a headroom, and why I decided to do this the way that I did is so that I could allow myself a little more headroom, because fluids in this game, even accessed by the devs, have stated that they probably will we may or may not see changes on fluids eventually. Why are you not working? Oh, because you're short. Again, that's another thing, too. I want this whole thing to run and buffer up and just do whatever it needs to do. But fluids, this is items in the game are a set number. Items in the game want belts. Items in the game coming out of miners and into manufacturers or assemblers or things and stuff. They're solid number. Fluids tend to fluctuate like a little circle, and sometimes you have problems with them. So we're going to make sure that we can way overproduce, at least on this end, before we start trying to mess with turbo fuel, because turbo fuel is going to be our lifeline until we decide to take on the task of maybe building some nuclear. I'm not 100% interested in it, but we may try it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit there and let this run for an hour or two and stress test it. And I will see you all in the next episode, because what we're going to probably do next time is a really short excerpt of building a very, very small pipe bomb factory right there. And then we're going to start blowing up a bunch of trees, and we're going to build turbo fuel, and we're going to start putting down lots and lots and lots of fuel generators. I'm ready to start moving forward. We're ready to be into Tier 7 and Tier 8. We just needed to make a lot more power than we have right now. Tier 7 and Tier 8 is going to require us to mess with a little bit of aluminum, and probably the first thing we're going to do next episode is unlock it. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a little bit of a fun project. I've kind of enjoyed it, and I will see you guys. So I hope you guys did too. Bye.